Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, audience discretion is advised. Welcome everyone to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. My name is James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Kite.
I'm Ethan Skinner.
Yeah, are you?
I think
Didn't
so.
you say that once
Aren't
already?
you Ethan Davis or are you Brady Skinner?
I'm pretty sure one person at this table.
Oh my
absolutely
God, that
hates
makes that makes you or me Jody McCarthy and the other one Jay Kite.
What a weird Beatles reference that was.
There you go. Well, as you can see, gentlemen and ladies, we are off to a discombobulated start. So if that is the case, then I will start off with. So there's this thing that I do now. It's called Rookie Watch, where I watch The Rookie from ABC and then report back to you the crazy shit that's been happening. The last 2 weeks has been
We still don't know if this is a bit, everybody.
Yeah, I don't. No. And we say we, that includes me. I don't know if this is a bit either. This could be a bit. So if you want to check me on it, travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. So there you go.
I like how you slipped that in there.
There we go. Yeah. So the last two episodes have been kind of linked. It's the first episode, they were talking about the wildfires in LA, and two of the cops almost burned. Two of the cops almost burned to death because their rookie is a fucking moron. And he always lies and shit. And that's a whole other thing. And they admitted that they loved each other underneath tinfoil while the entire LA was burning. It was just
like
weird.
a triage blanket.
Everything was weird. No, it was tinfoil. I refuse to pay any more attention than that. So while that's going on, they're hunting a serial killer who is so obsessed with serial killing, he's trying to serial kill someone during the wildfire. That is commitment.
Yeah.
That is commitment. They catch him. John Nolan, aka Nathan Fillion, has a fights with him, and then the detective who's been hunting him down for weeks said, "I'm gonna get you, sucker!" And they finally got him, and they put him behind bars, and they're all covered with ash because wildfires are going on, and it was amazing. But then at the very end, that detective's husband gets shot in a drive-by.
Good Lord!
What the? I gotta wait a week. I gotta wait a week for this shit, and I did. I waited a whole week. I waited 1 week to watch the next episode. Psych, I actually had to wait 2 weeks because somebody had to talk in front of Congress and it postponed it for a week. I had to wait 2 fucking weeks for this fucking episode. God damn it. But I waited. And it's like, so the husband got smooched by someone else, and one of the other cops saw it, and they were like, "Oh my God!" But it's like, no, and like even in the scene, it's like, no, it's not like I was just trying to help you, because the reason why he got drive-by'd is because his friend from the shelter that they work at saw a shooting, and now they shot her to keep her from talking about the shooting. You're going to have to fucking rewind that and figure it out on your own time, people. So they're off trying to find the people that shoot the detective, because the detective is also being considered a suspect in it. But she was hunting a fucking serial killer. Did we not forget what happened 2 weeks ago? God damn it. It was a little bit of writing that I was not too happy about, but everybody's like, was he unfaithful? Did she find out and shoot him? Are they working for the bad guy? No. Nathan Fillion is on the case, and he found them at Paramount Studios. I'm not even kidding. They found them on the lot of Paramount Studios. And
it's very convenient.
It's very convenient, and he worked, and the dude worked as a security guard for a cop show. It was a cop psychiatrist show called Cop-a-Feel.
That should be a real thing.
I
wish that was a real thing.
Brady, I think this is a bit.
I wish that was a real thing.
I think this is a bit, because this is what I remember seeing, and it was on there. But they get him. And so they got him, and the husband survived, and the lady survived, and everyone was happy. And we forgot that wildfires literally happened the day before. We don't have wildfires and catching a serial killer happened the day before, and then the next day it was cop husband death almost, and adultery thoughts. And oh my God, this show has everything. It has fucking everything. The next episode's a horror show because they have to put like 5,000 inmates in the precinct and then all the lights go out.
Oh.
It's like Assault on Precinct 13, but it isn't.
No.
I picked up Marvel Champions Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the deluxe expansion, and I am very happy with it. I have not played anything out of it yet, but one of our dear friends, Jason Holder, he actually played the Maria Hill hero out of it, and just out of the base, I like her. She has all the helicarriers, every single one of them.
Yeah.
She only has enough money to like afford a few of them to be out. But man, do they make an effect. Oh my God. One of them just nukes things from orbit. One of them is like, oh, there's threat. Remove all of it right now. It's very great.
The leadership one lets you tap it to play to choose a player, and they just play an ally from their hand without paying for it.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The threat one is the Douglas with 2 S's. So it's very good. I
And
enjoyed it.
the one in protection, you tap it, remove a counter from it to give a hero or the villain a status card, any status card,
Any status card.
and give a minion or an ally any status card.
Huh.
So you can give yourself toughs, you can confuse and or stun the villain or a minion. So that one has a lot of utility as
A
well.
lot of flexibility
very
there.
good. We like that. But yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the stuff out of there. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expansion comes with 2 new heroes, Maria Hill, you just heard, but also Nick Fury. Nick Fury has been one of the best support cards in the game for the inception of the. Yeah, he's in the first. He's in the first box. He now is his own character. He's very cool. He has 2 modes. He has stealth mode and he has action mode. And stealth mode allows you to like get a whole bunch of threat put on you, and then when you flip to action mode, you can just use that threat to just fucking nuke shit, and feels very good. And
Yeah, it lets you be a hero, but still, instead of attacking you when the villain activates, they just thwart instead.
Yes,
And some of that thwart goes onto your suit.
it's great. I love it.
Jay, I have to apologize real fast. If you had not said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I would have assumed that you were still talking about the rookie.
This is true.
Let's pretend that I went. Nathan Fillion is Nick Fury in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for Marvel Champions. There you go. I did kind of abruptly just hammer that shit right in there.
Well, I like if you're listening to this show, which I hope you are. It was so
No, they're
smooth.
watching
No,
us.
visualize the sound
They're
waves.
watching
It
us.
was the
They might have
transition
some
was
SEO, we don't
almost
know.
so smooth that it sounded like there was probably going to be an edit there where we said something we shouldn't have, like we always do on this show, and he had to cut it out and just went straight into the next thing.
I could just drop like 8 censors.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we'll
That'd be
fine then.
fantastic.
It'd be great.
He is the one that edits these
Yeah.
recordings.
The last time I checked, yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those the characters in the box look very interesting. I'm very interested in fighting some of the villains.
First one's Yelena Belova,
Yeah.
Black Widow, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
which
yes.
is kind of cool. I can't wait for that.
And she works kind of like the villain version of Black Widow, where she has preparations that come out and then things trigger them and stuff like that.
I like the repurposing of hero stuff to be used by villains.
Yeah. Yeah. The inverse of that one happened when they released the hero Nebula, who worked pretty much like she did as the villain. I'm really excited about one of the villains that you fight is Citizen V. So quite a few years ago, there was this superhero team that came out, and they were the Thunderbolts. And they came out, and I think it was around the time when like some heroes had gone away, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
The Thunderbolts typically show up when the Avengers have gone away for some reason.
And this is not really that big of a spoiler, but because at the end of like the first issue of Thunderbolts, it's real. Oh, Citizen V, the leader of the Thunderbolts, that's actually Baron Zemo. These are all villains that Zemo dressed up as heroes to use, and you fight him in this, and you fight the Thunderbolts, and that's pretty interesting. Finally, having a villain MODOK is also very interesting. Looking forward to that. I have no idea how this weird campaign thing is going to play. I usually play it once and then don't ever play it again because it adds too much to the game. I just fight the people when I want to fight them. But having 5 more villains to fight is good. Having more shield stuff so you can do go even stronger into a shield deck type.
Just overall more variety.
Yeah, you can go more into a shield deck. Having more preparations, which is a type of upgrade, is interesting. That's going to add more for the hero Black Widow because she really likes preparation cards. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this whole entire cycle. They also gave you new the dual resource cards. They gave you new artwork for those, and that's cool. So if you're doing a shield deck, you can throw those things in there and have kind of a more thematic deck. So you can have it more of just all those things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this box.
Brady, you got the rhythm. Keep it up, brother.
Sure. Other than that came in, the main thing that I did this past week, we're going to talk about later, but there's just some things that are coming out that I'm looking forward to. This month, the new Coheed and Cambria album drops. I'm excited about that. It's gotten the reviews that I've read have been pretty positive. I think even if they were negative, I will probably at least decently like this album. Is called The Father of Make Believe. It seems like it's going to be a good album from what I have seen or heard.
Can I make a brief So
yeah,
Facebook today showed me a 5-year memory, and it involves 2 of the people in this room. So back in the past for Macnar Gaming, we used to do just like some cheap little vignettes for the games that we were going to run on Thursday nights. And it's been 5 years since we ran the Dark Souls board game the Dark Souls vignette. And one of the jokes about it is like everybody just starts dying.
Yeah.
And I look Brady dies. I look at Brady and I'm like, Brady, are you okay? Coheed and Cambria sucks. Oh shit, he's dead, because he would punch me in the face if Coheed and Cambria, which Coheed and Cambria doesn't say. Not my cup of tea, but I will drink tea every now and again.
Yeah. If you're not aware with them, they are a prog rock band. Almost all of their albums have to do with some kind of sci-fi story. This one, and it takes place in like different arcs. There's like several albums worth of like arcs of a story, and this is like the midpoint of this newest arc. I'm a little annoyed because when it comes out, I can, of course, I'll probably break down and end up listening to it on like Amazon Music that I have, but I pre-ordered the special edition because I've done that for like their last 5-6 albums. And it's supposed to be coming in March, but it's not going to be. It got delayed first for Chinese New Year, and then because there was something that they had to do with production, the production of one of the parts in the special edition got delayed, so it's not going to be here till April. So that's annoying, but I guess I will deal with it. But I'm looking forward to that. They do really cool special editions for their stuff. I don't know if it's worth the money. I am. My bias is too strong for me to tell you that. You would have to look at it and see. But there's that. Another thing, we finally got new music from Ghost. They dropped a new music video for Satanized, and then when they dropped that, they announced a new album coming out, Skeleton. You got a little preview of the new Papa, which is going to be Papa 5 Perpetua. So I'm looking forward to that. Satanize is a pretty solid song. I like the video, and I like the song, and it's giving a little preview of like what Skeleton is gonna sound like. I'm looking forward to that. Holder was telling me that Target's gonna have a special version of it that's colored special, so that's gonna be cool. I'll try and get that from Target. And then just today, Sleep Token has been throwing out hints lately of new music dropping, and something is supposed to be happening tomorrow at about 7:00.
That's ominous.
Well, they released this little video and they just said like tomorrow, like what today's the 12th, the 13th at I think it's like 8 a.m. Eastern, and then they gave like the UK time and everything too, and that's it. So like hopefully
I wonder if it's the moon from Majora's Mask.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh man, we got
hopefully
72 hours, people.
Hopefully they drop some new music.
I would hope it, like for them, I would hope it was music.
Yeah, it could also be.
Wait a minute, Coheed, Ghost, and possibly Sleep Token are dropping music within like a week of one. You are just like it's just a good catnip.
It's
good lord,
it's good. It's good. It's a good month.
It's a good month for Brady.
It might just be them announcing a new North American tour because I know that different venues have kind of been hinting at that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's some new music because there was another one of the social media sites that one of the I can't remember which band member it is, but one of the band members runs. They had some kind of like it's always like cryptic ominous stuff, so but that's kind of the fun of Sleep Token. But I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that is new music. Hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and there'll be new music. But if there's a new tour, that'll be cool too. I'm glad to see them touring and doing good things like that. But other than the thing we're going to talk about later, that's about all that I have.
Excellent. Ethan Skinner.
It is up to me. Guess what? I'm still playing Metaphor, and I've been lied to.
Metaphorically?
Literally. Not
Oh, so like the game isn't a metaphor at all. It's like a literal thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
It built up tension as if I was going into the final part of the game, and then it's like hot plot twist, exposition, and I'm like, oh shit, I have a lot further to go. The game lied to me.
A JRPG lied to you about the ending.
See, this reminds me of Symphony of the Night. Once you get the glasses, and then you shatter the crystal that's like cut, like making Richter be evil, and then you find out that no, this is not the end of the game. This is the halfway point.
Yep.
Or like almost any Final Fantasy anything.
That's what it feels like. And then a whole bunch of other like exposition, plot progression things happened.
I want a video game or a bagel called Final Fantasy anything. I swear to God, I would. Purchase
that might get me into Final Fantasy.
That's the Nintendo way about doing things, because Nintendo is still like, hey, you know what? The Switch has like at least a couple more years in its life. Let's keep re-releasing Wii U games for it. Xenoblade something or another.
Because this just popped in my head. There is a rumor. This is just a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Switch 2. One of the games coming near the launch of Switch 2, HD 2D 3D, Chrono Trigger.
Oh shit!
I do, and I've actually just a quick thing. I've bought Chrono Trigger on Steam because it was like $5 on a sale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Chrono Trigger, but I was also a boy when I first played Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what old man me will think about going back and trying to play that game.
Yeah.
Ethan, my apologies. Continue.
Yeah, continue.
But yeah, Metaphor, it's still kicking my ass. Just more grinding.
Atlas.
Besides that, me and Bianca, we continued playing Split Fiction, the new co-op game by Hazelight Studios, and we actually beat it.
Okay.
It's the games they come out with aren't exponentially long. It is
just frustrating.
I will not name names, but one of us had a lot of difficulties on simple jumping platforms. I will not name who, but one of us got angry at the game.
Bianca, how could you?
She doesn't listen to the show.
No,
so you're safe.
Yeah, Bianca does not know how to play platformers.
Yeah.
We got you to turn on your wife.
It takes
clip
two.
That, Jay, clip that now.
It takes two.
I have to
get a
get in
divorce.
the editing room to clip
Figure it out.
I'll do it.
All their titles are like, the future of Ethan's relationship. It takes two to get a divorce. A way out.
I don't like where this is going.
Sometimes
honestly.
a third person's involved in that. And there's a totally different thing going on there.
Continue on, Ethan.
The game is about like two different genre writers trying to get it published for a video game. There's a lot of video game references in it and other media types that I'm like, okay, I can appreciate that this was included. It was very like heartfelt towards the end, and I very much enjoyed it. Bianca also liked it, so yeah. Besides that, we also watched and finished a show on Netflix that's made by Studio Trigger, Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That one's very unassuming until it starts getting assuming,
and then it goes total Trigger.
Yeah.
Yes. It is everything I loved about it. It is basically like D&D-esque. It is cooking and it is magic.
And also like for Studio Trigger, it's more, at least at the beginning, more of a straightforward kind of story. They usually are all over the place.
It kind of feels like cozy in a
it is
sense.
very at the beginning it's very cozy,
yeah, and then it starts escalating very,
well, yeah, I mean,
slowly.
it's an awesome premise, really, if you think about like your standard adventuring party, and like the knight's like, hey guys, we're broke, let's go into the dungeon and just cook whatever we kill, and we won't have to worry about money ananymore.
I'm just saying, that's genius. In that
it is
setting,
once they pick up someone who knows how to cook.
Yes, exactly.
Because they're sick for a little bit there. Because they're like, we don't know how to cook these venomous scorpions.
It was like some dwarf was in the back corner watching and was like, no, you're doing it all wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Is that a statement that's made? We don't know how to cook these venomous scorpions?
Yes.
That is.
Yes.
I have Netflix now. I do.
Yeah. You'd love it. I'm sure you would love it, actually.
It is anime, so it kind of, which is weird because when we talk about the main topic, there's something anime in there, which people are gonna be like, what the fuck? And but that's,
good stories are good stories, though. It doesn't have to. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's animated or not.
But
as long as it's done well, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's been me.
Nice.
There you go. Alrighty. Well, you weren't here last week, brother. You probably got a bunch of stuff.
I was lied to. So I finally,
same here.
I finally, and the audience won't be able to see this, I finally unlocked all the base game for Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
And then the game's like, hey, guess what? You did unlock everything, but here are all these secrets that you still need to unlock, but it's not part of the unlock list. It's part of the secret list.
I love Vampire Survivors for that. Like,
so good.
It's a Matryoshka doll of just, of just excellent bullshit. Oh my god.
So I was trying to do one of the things is you have to uppercut a non-Red Death Reaper or whatever, which I didn't do, but I managed to, while I was trying to beat that stage to be able to do one of the things I needed to do to unlock, I managed to live for 36 minutes. So I got I was on a stage where I got all 16 passive items plus the 4 cursed items, and I had them all maxed out.
Oh wow.
With my one main weapon, which was the pentagram.
Yeah.
And so
pentagram's fun because it just wipes out everything on the screen.
Actually, no, I didn't have just the pentagram. That was one of the runs where I didn't have that turned off. So I have 6 weapons maxed out and 20 passive items maxed out, which means I was doing everything to everything. And it happened like 15 minutes in. So I was just basically watching my character just kill everything on screen. And this hasn't happened to me in the game so far. I've been able to kill death. I've been able to actually kill the Red Death like twice in a stage, but I hadn't been able to do what I did on this run, which I had everything. I had the laurel, I had the infinite corridor, I had all that fucking snaz. That's a new word now. And so the death shows up and I'm just running around, and every like 5 seconds, my pentagram hits, and then my fucking clock lancet freezes everything on screen because now it's the upgraded version. And so I'm just moving around in a circle. Oh, another death shows up. But the funny thing is, I had Laurel maxed out, and I had all the hearts maxed out. Hollowed heart, the red heart, all that maxed out. So I wasn't taking any damage at all from death, just by running around in circles. And then the third death showed up. And then the fourth, fifth, and sixth death show up. And so I've got 6 deaths just kind of like going around me, and they're freezing every 2 seconds. So I'm like, I'm just seeing how long I can keep this shit going. I killed all of them around minute 36, 37. And then the old gray band showed up and smacked me in the face.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that run. But that's the longest I've been able to keep going on Vampire Survivors. But yeah, I've only got like 4 or 5 more secret characters. So we'll see what happens when I get those done.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the video game side of things. And now I'm going to talk about the good, the weird, and the ugly. And I'm going to talk about the ugly first. So I watched Venom: The Last Dance on Netflix.
Oof.
And here's the thing. Like, I forgive a lot of these Sony Marvel movies, with the exception of Moebius.
Yep.
Because why was when he was flying, why were there traces of orange because he was wearing an orange jumpsuit? I don't. And that's like the smallest quibble I have with that movie. It's fucking awful. But I give the first 2 Venom movies a pass because I actually liked the second one. A lot of people didn't, but I thought it was all right for what it was. For a Sony,
I thought Woody Harrelson did a good.
for
Carnage,
a Sony,
yeah.
like, a lot of people like to pick about the, like, oh, this symbiote wouldn't act this way, Carnage wouldn't act this way. The guy who played, was more just straight up insane and not methodical bullshit. But I liked it. This one though. This was the roughest one. There was a lot of, like, they overly used, like, Tom Hardy as himself in this one more than any of the other ones, I guess, because he was just like, I want all the face time. And you barely saw Venom in this movie most of the time. The story was good. I will say the story was good. The acting was okay for a Sony Marvel movie. It was the worst special effects, just comparing it to the other 2 Venom movies that they've had so far, because they had so many symbiotes in this. It was ridiculous. And they were also throwaway characters. Like, spoilers, symbiotes die in this movie. And because the Null, they actually had Null show up. Well, not show up, but Null's in the movie, which is cool because I never thought they'd do that. And 2, he sends his little, like, alien scorpions or whatever to kill Venom because he's the chosen one. And so the Area 51, they're doing research on the symbiotes, but it's actually Area 55 because they're decommissioning Area 51, even though they're using the underground anyway. They just throw them away. They just throw them right into the alien. It's just like they're just dying left and right. But you can't really see anything because it's all just like Transformers 1 CGI, basically. And it's just like just a bunch of shit on screen.
When you say Transformers, do you mean the first Michael Bay Transformers movie, or the animated movie Transformers 1?
I'm talking about the Michael Bay one, specifically when they're transforming.
Okay, so the first okay, the Michael Bay stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
just the transforming part.
I was confused there. It was like there was like fully animated parts.
I wish. So the story was pretty good, but man, for special effects to be that bad to take me out of it, like you saw the trailer of it, you saw the horse. That's some of the better part of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. It's bad. So that was okay. It was whatever. But I mean, I saw it on Netflix, so I didn't have to actually pay to go see it.
So we got the good and the bad left.
Well, the good and the weird left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we like weird.
So I watched The Menu last night. That's on Netflix, but it's leaving, I think, in the next week or so. So if you've got Netflix and you want to watch it, now's the time.
The Menu's good.
Like, you see a trailer for that movie, and like my initial thoughts going into it were, okay, like something bad's going to be happening. I don't know about everybody else that went and saw it or watched it, but my thought process was, okay, they're going into this, and either one of two things are happening, maybe even three. They're going into this situation, and they're going to end up like either like not knowing that they're eating like people or something, or they become dinner, or some sort of like mix of that. Nope, that's not what happened at all. I like the way they set everything up, where they brought out the first plates, and then there was a little font that told you what it was, which ends up being kind of jokey at some points. Just a cheeseburger. It got really goofy near the end. Marshmallows, anyone? That was kind of goofy, but I know that the premise of the movie is really goofy when you think about it.
Well, it's a dark comedy.
Well, yeah. But going into it, I thought it was a straight, like, they play the trailer like it's a straight horror movie. There's no like sort of leaning into it being any sort of comedic elements in it at all. You don't pick up on that until like much later, and most of the comedy in it, if there's a very small amount of it. I always like to quote Daffy Duck when I say it's a good trick, but I can only do it one time. Which is referring to a scene where he's talking to one of the cooks and goes, "You'll never be good. You're okay, but you'll never be good." And there you have it.
Yep.
So I enjoyed it. It was good. It dragged at parts for me, but in hindsight, it made more sense. The pacing of it was well thought out, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know. That's one of those movies that has like a defining ending. I don't know if I would go back and watch it again. Just because, all the beats leading up to it. It's almost like the way that the courses are presented. Like after you get finished with it, it's you're done with it, and that's it. It should be a one and done experience.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. And then I told Jay about this, but I didn't go into details of it. The weird. So I was on YouTube last night, and every once in a while, stuff will pop up in my feed, like back in the old days would. I'll get like uploaded full seasons of anime, a random horror movie. Sometimes they're public domain, sometimes they're not. It just happens to be that way. There's a channel called Orbital Bacon that like has like Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday and shows He-Man and shit for like 6 hours. So I saw this thumbnail and I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty sweet." And it was it was animated, and it was from 1982, and it was called Time Masters or something like that.
Okay.
I think that's what it was called. And I was like, well, I'll start it just so I could save it on a playlist. And as soon as the credits started rolling at the very beginning of it, it's a fucking Moebius movie.
Oh, wow.
He got Moebius out of nowhere.
I got Moebius out of nowhere. And because I know how YouTube is, even though it was 11:30 at night and I had to be at work in the morning, I better watch this now because it might not be up here tomorrow. And so, as you would expect, it's really fucking weird. And even though it's 1982, it's got that like late 70s, early 80s animation style to it, where you get like heavy metal meets Fantastic Planet. And basically it starts where there's a guy on this ship and he's got his son with him that's like 6 or something. And they crash on a planet and he gets really fucked up from it. And he hands his son what he calls a microphone, which is like this little device that looks like an egg, like an ostrich egg with like a speaker on top of it. And he tosses it to the kid and he's like, "This is Mike. I need you to take Mike and run off into the forest and wait for help. And whatever Mike says, you need to do." Because before he threw the microphone down to him, he talked to Jaffa, which is his friend in interstellar space, and he's basically sending like a distress signal to Jaffa, like, "Hey, I crashed on this planet. My son's here, and he's got no way of anyone helping him. So I need you to come help him."
It is the same person that made Fantastic Planets.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look exactly like Fantastic Planet. It doesn't have that like sort of like cardboard cutout animation.
Yeah.
Which I like for that movie, but I don't want to see it on anything else because it's just like an art style that works really well for Fantastic Planet. So
This sounds like M. Night Shyamalan watched this and then ripped this off for the Will Smith, Jaden Smith movie. I can't remember.
After Earth.
After Earth.
so
Yeah.
so basically,
You think this has something to do with the Ursa?
Possibly.
So the cool, like it cuts to like the cool. This is what kept me watching this, not just because it's Moebius, of course, but after you get through that, you go to a spaceship that's like fucking decked out, cool looking fucking swinger looking fucking spaceship. Like you got like velvet couches and shit, and people are just kind of like just chilling, not functional at all.
Yeah.
It just looks cool. And so Jaffa's like making out with this really hot alien chick over here, and there's this dude who looks like, I don't know, like maybe Ziggy Stardust, but the hair is white, and he's sitting on the couch next to the console, and he's just fucking smoking a cigarette. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Well, that's just French as fuck.
Yeah.
And Jaffa's like, "Hey, what's going on with this signal?" And the dude's like, "I don't know how to operate that." And you find out that dude is a prince, and he had stole his family's fortune, and he's taking a ride on Jaffa's ship so he could go somewhere and spend the money. And so there's all these layers to all this wild shit, and there's the time masters don't that part of the movie doesn't really take effect until the last 15 minutes or so. But man, they end up on several different places. There's a planet.
The fuck is this trailer?
Where there's
Wait.
Yeah.
Why is he looking at that weird thing's asshole? What?
there's a point where they go to a planet, and there's all these like angels with no faces. They look like the weeping angels from fucking Doctor Who. They got like no faces though.
Why do I like? Okay, so I'm watching the trailer, which I have to admit, like some of these people have to get ripped in half, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they do. Okay, that's all I need to know. That's
Yeah.
all I need to know. Have they started an interplanetary war?
Yeah.
That was trying to be French that ended up in Germany, so I'm going to say that was Alsace-Lorraine. Anyway, continue.
So anyway, the video I watched, I look at the description, and the guy's like, "Sorry, I couldn't find the English version." That is the English version that I watched. It's French produced for television, and then the BBC translated the English version of it or whatever.
Experience the 4K restoration.
Oh, really?
This is what this trailer is telling me.
Oh, okay.
In theaters this summer. What summer?
What summer is that? What year is that trailer from?
I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, you need to find out, because I want to go see it in the theater right now.
We might have to, if it's this summer, like summer,
dude.
we might have to take an omnibus field trip to it.
Yeah, all the way to Paris, because it's probably in France.
Ocean Springs, that sounds French.
Yeah, we don't have any of those
Art house
theaters.
Yeah.
It was last year.
Oh.
Yeah, where though?
From where I am seeing.
I like how he was like machine gunning people with his da-da-da-da-da-da.
I wish, just like Ethan does, that Space Bear listened to this
It was
program.
last year, originally opened in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Followed by a national rollout.
National rollout my ass.
Yeah, it's like theaters and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's
Likely.
no fucking way.
There's a ton of these.
Give me that title again.
There's a ton of these little
Time
Masters.
The Time Masters,
It
1982.
might also be Masters of Time. I've also seen it.
Yeah, it could be.
There. But there's a lot of these like boutique Blu-ray like Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome and stuff like that. They're putting out these like lesser seen
Right.
movies. So it could be on one.
It could be. Like I love coming across shit like that because it's like I have nostalgia for time periods just as much as I have nostalgia for specific titles.
Okay, so if you search for it on Amazon, that you can buy Les Maîtres du Temps, 1982, which is a DVD.
Yeah.
If you look for Prime Video, you get Time Master starring Pat Morita.
No,
from 1995.
That is a movie Mystery Science Theater has done.
Probably.
Yeah. Definitely.
But Les Maîtres du Temps.
Yeah, that's the French.
From where?
As you do Urai. Time Masters. French and Hungarian soundtrack? What?
Yeah, that
Why
sounds
did
about
Hungary
right.
get a different soundtrack?
From what I'm seeing, it released July of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was only playing in select U.S. art house theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out, man. It's fantastic. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I like I said, I have a nostalgia for certain aesthetics when it comes to.
It has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not surprised.
Letterboxd, however, is 3.7 out of 5.
Yeah. I like the way that, you know, and the pay, and it's an hour and 15 minutes. It's not long.
Yeah.
So it's just gorgeous just to look at the animation. It's just fantastic. I loved it so much.
On planet Pyodide, an attack of giant hornets leaves Pierre, a young boy, alone in a wrecked car with his dying father.
Mm-hmm.
A Mayday message reaches their friend Jafar, an adventurer traveling through space. On board Jafar's shuttle are the Renegade. That's the last bit of the... who is the Renegade? Just are the Renegade.
I guess he's talking about the prince. There's the prince and the prince's sister and Jaffa. They're the only people on the ship.
I'll give a shout out to the director, René Laloux.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check it out, man. It's fucking fantastic.
Check it out on YouTube where they totally legally ripped it on there.
Well, I think when it was uploaded to YouTube, it probably wasn't available anywhere else.
That's fair. That is entirely fair.
like
Unless it's the 4K remaster accidentally.
I don't think it is. It really didn't have that kind of quality.
France! Release the 4K cut.
Release the Moebius.
That sounds sexual.
Release the Moebius.
Release the Moebius. It is about to get gushy in here.
I didn't take it there. You did.
I did. I took it there.
I don't like the idea of gushy. I don't.
Then you wouldn't have liked.
Am I clipping that one too, bro?
Probably.
Okay.
Then you wouldn't have liked Gushers back in the day. Actually, they still make Gushers.
Yeah, but back
Man,
then
those were some weird ass commercials.
They were.
They
Sunny Delight, not Sunny Delight. Capri Sun.
Capri Sun. Yeah, they would just morph children's heads into weird shapes.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing that commercial.
Yeah. Well, that's me.
There you go. Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, in a break in regular format, we're going into part 2 right now. Ladies and gentlemen, our main topic tonight, right now, it is March the 12th, and this past weekend was CoastCon 47 of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Did you see the It might have been better if it had been, but that's all I think. No, at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Convention Center at the Coliseum in Biloxi, Mississippi. Myself and one Brady Davis went. One of us was supposed to go and never showed up, but that we'll forgive that for now. And one of us never intended to go, and he never went in the first place. So there we go. But we're going to talk about some of the highlights from CoastCon 47. Overall, I think it was an okay event. It was not as good as last year. There were certainly some things, and we will get into that here momentarily. Yeah. But I think overall, for me, it was an okay convention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I've been to enough of these CoastCons that I don't ever expect too much from them. It's just kind of an excuse to do something a little bit different. So yeah, yeah, I
look at it as like 3 days of escape, like easy escapism, like just kind of like it's in the same. It's where I live, and it's my people, and we get to just go. I'm gonna start out with a very big pro. The 501st Legion was here again this year. Their display this year was probably the best they've ever done at CoastCon.
Oh yeah, they definitely put a lot of effort into it. They and to be honest, like they usually don't do that much. Like they had like different scenes. Like it was really cool.
Yeah, they had the Emperor's Chair. They had the caves on Tatooine.
They had the Sarlacc pit. No, not the Sarlacc pit. The garbage disposal.
Yes, the garbage disposal on the Death Star was there. They had a little canteen spot. It was very well done, and I definitely credit them with.
And they got to show off like some more costumes that you don't normally, because they're most of them they just walk around and they either do they either dress as Mandalorians or they dress as some kind of stormtroopers.
Last year was like 50 out of 100 people. There were like 55 Mandalorians.
Yeah.
And like it was just like it was Mandos everywhere. It's like this baby is not getting touched. Like it's just the way it is. So, but no, it was a lot more variety this year. A lot bigger footprint on the thing. I really appreciate that. I think
that was really cool.
And we also had the USS Neptune had their Artemis Bridge simulator running again. I like when somebody, you start out as a cadet, and then if you work all 6 stations, they announce you as an ensign on the USS Neptune, and they just go completely boisterous. Like, and one of the last things they say about it's like, and may God have mercy on your soul. It's this great little presentation that, again, it's another thing that I really like. You're embracing the hobby, you're enjoying the hobby, and you're trying to share it with everybody. And also to kind of drum, it's like, oh, what is this thing? Maybe I will go see it.
Yeah.
So that was very good too. There was no gaming guest of this is the start of my neck. There was no gaming guest of honor this year. And that's usually the panels that I will always gravitate towards. I didn't know the author guest of honor. I knew of the media guest of honor, which was a cool pick, so there was no really panels that I wanted to go to. So this is the first time in like 4 cons that I didn't see a single panel, which was kind of sad.
They had some panels where you looked at the name of them and you're like, that might be interesting, but I have no idea what the fuck it's actually going to be. So I don't want to go in there and it'd be something that I don't like. Some of them were some of the names of the panels were like very okay, I know exactly what that is and if I want to go to it or not, and some of them weren't.
They were trying to be cute or something, or
kind of or clever maybe, I don't know. But
so there was one called Smash or Pass video game characters. It was an 18+ room. And it was basically, what video game players do you want to fuck?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, they have shit like that.
Do you want to fuck Zelda?
They came out with like an itinerary.
What about
for
Donkey
the
Kong?
And I saw that one particular thing was blocked out all 3 days for like a 2-hour period.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's freaks who come to this thing too. The author guest of honor, I can't remember his name, but he did a book series called The Gentleman Bastards. And I have read part of the first book, The Lies of Locke Lamora. I don't remember why I stopped reading it. I think because another book that I had been really looking forward to came out, and I just stopped and never came back to it.
I bet you it was Brandon Sanderson.
Probably.
Sorry.
I mean,
I have Scott Lynch.
Okay. I like it's interesting. Like the first book, like it's basically just like it's kind of low fantasy from as far as I had read, and it's just a bunch of a group of like ne'er-do-wells running cons. But like the relationships between all of them are pretty that's like the big draw is like
like I feel like reading that would be inspiration for Blades in the Dark, kind of maybe.
Yeah, possibly. It could definitely possibly be as much as I read of it, but I need to go back. I do need to go back and read that one because I did like the beginning of it. It's just for some reason I stopped. But yeah, the other guests that they had were pretty cool. They had the guy who was basically the Mandalorian in the first season. Like he was the guy who did all the body, the stunts and stuff. He was the guy behind the fucking mask,
right?
Because they didn't even cast Pedro Pascal until like late into production. Right. Like they had no fucking idea who the Mandalorian was.
And they didn't show his face until the last episode of the first season.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because like if they didn't take his helmet off, he'd die because of some injury or some shit. Got the first season of The Mandalorian feels like 3 decades ago.
Yeah, it might as well be.
That's how long.
Because it's like 8 shows. Because it's like 18 shows ago. But yeah, and then they had another person who had she was a little person and she had done a lot of like dress up as the aliens or droids or stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't go to any panel. I usually go to at least one panel, but I didn't go to any panels this time. There was
How
nothing that
empty
really-
was the main floor room?
Well, Saturday and Sunday weren't bad. Friday disappointed me
Really?
because I think there were maybe like, not counting us, I think no, like there was us, and then I think there was like 3 RPG tables, and that was it, which was weird to see on a Friday night. Friday has always been like people are just getting in.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday are more along the lines of those days when people really start like coming in at the con. Saturday in particular. It's actually moved me next year for CoastCon 48. I'm gonna run an RPG on Friday night.
On Friday night.
Because I just want to see more activity on the gaming floor, and I haven't run a game, like haven't run an RPG at a con in like years.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was we didn't do a Blood on the Clock Tower this year, which they had their own room for Ultimate Werewolf, which they always kind of have, but I always run the non-official, like we're gonna play some Blood on the Clock Tower out here. In the last 2 years, we've had like 15 easy.
Right.
We had about 6. I wanted to get to 8 because 8 is when you start getting to the sweet spot in that game, and we just never kind of could like get enough wires crossed and connected to be able to do it. So. That was kind of a disappointment, but in the interim on that, Crokinole pretty much took up my whole fucking weekend.
Speaking of, so did you notice that like towards the end of the night on Saturday, like it really thinned out? Do you know why that was?
They were hustling people out from what I could tell.
They were telling people the vendor room closed at 7. The security people who were working in that area were telling people that the entire convention was closing at 7.
Was it like a miscommunication thing? Or?
I have no idea. It probably
it would have. See, well, hold on, let me say that portion. It would have to be, but then they were like normally the con's going to go to 1 or 2 in the morning on Saturday night. But everything was kind of done at midnight, and then like at 12:30, it's like get your move, get out, and like it was like, oh, this is kind of weird, and to the point where it actually like I think I don't want to speak for him, but Greg had set up another game because after y'all finished the City of the Big Shoulders, which I definitely want you to talk about,
they set up
Thunder Road,
the Carnival of Chaos.
Yeah, the Twisted Metal version of the game, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they kind of ran them off, and so Sunday, Greg was like, "Well, fuck it," and he just pulled up stake and like was just gone.
Yeah, but to be honest, Greg does that every Sunday. Like Saturday night he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna show up and we're gonna do this, this, and this," and then he comes in. As soon as they open and then just packs up his shit and leaves because he doesn't want to be there for another day.
That's fair. That's fair. But I think there was a little bit. I think there was a little more bite to that because I think he was like when he found out that they were like turning people away. At 7 o'clock, they were telling people like everything's closing down. Like he got pissed off. I 100% blame that on the Coliseum security and not because everybody working the con should know it's like no like we have literally events going to midnight.
Then it means that there was some miscommunication between the people running the event and the people actually like because it seems like they had a lot fewer volunteers this year than they usually do because like usually they have somebody in that second exit near the actual like play area to where you can easily go in and out there and you don't have to go through the vendor room every time. And they never had a person there. We still went in that way because
they had
I'm
one
not
briefly Friday night.
Because I'm not walking all the way around the vendor room just to get
right
when it's right fucking there. But yeah, they didn't have anybody there the entire time. And it did seem like they had like a lot fewer volunteers this year.
How about patrons? Like how many people were there? Was it like less than last year for you?
See, Saturday and Sunday felt kind of the same. It was that Friday night that kind of threw me off.
Yeah, Friday there was a lot
in
less,
the game room,
and then later on Saturday there was definitely a lot less.
Yeah,
so and it feels like they had a lot less of everything. Like there was less stuff in the art auction. Like they usually have.
Yeah, no, there was considerably less volume in the art auction.
Like they have it like little sectioned off areas, and that usually like they have it mostly filled up, maybe the last few, but like this one, like half of it was they just put CoastCon memorabilia stuff for you to look at.
Yeah.
Because that part is also like basically a museum to CoastCon of the past. Which is fine, but like usually they have they got a lot less stuff from people to do the art auction. And it seems like they got a lot less stuff for the other auction too.
Just the basic charity auction. Well, and also stuff for both of the auctions blended. Like there were art pieces that were not in the art auction, they were in the charity auction.
Yeah.
And that was kind of strange to me. They've had like prints and stuff before in the charity, but they've not been like specific artworks. Like it was just stuff that was kind of submitted there.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. This is another thing. My initial thought is to blame the convention center for this, because so panel room 2 is where they had the charity auction, and I go in there, and when I go, I dress up as a Jedi, and I go in there, and I am immediately sweltering, like immediately, like sweat's already beating up. So I took off the robe and I took off the under tunic, and I didn't get cooler. Like I didn't. So it was that hot in that room. And the initial thing said was we could either have a PA system so that the auction barker isn't blowing his voice out, or we could have air conditioning. They didn't have the power to run both. That was the initial report on that. And so, so like they chose air conditioning, and it's going to be kicking on soon. We were like 20 minutes into the auction, and it only got hotter. So I wonder if there was an issue either with the power in the building, or if there was a problem with the AC, because the same room and the same room was cut out last year for the auction previous, or for the auction that would happen last year. And it was brighter, air conditioning, and they had the PA system working.
Yeah.
That room was dim. There was no AC while I was in there.
Right.
Or it didn't feel, let me nuance that. It did not feel like the AC ever came on. And they finally got a working PA system right as like me and my friend James Rouse was there this year. It was really cool hanging out with him. That's another positive for me, being able to hang out with people outside of the normal environment. But that thing was slated for 3 hours. There were 87 lots. At the end of the first hour, they were just finishing lot 17, which means we got to cram. We need to cram 35 lots in both of these hours, and we haven't even achieved half of that in the first one. So they did the audible that they did the year previous a lot sooner, which, everybody come up, take a look at the lots, what you want to buy, because they were doing a lot of prices right, like let's bring this around, this is what it looks like, and it's very hard to do that in a very dimly lit room. And so bring everybody together. I will applaud them for that, to making that audible that sooner to get that auction running, because as soon as that was done, the costume contest ran. And I saw some good costumes there, but I'd rarely go to the costume contest, and there was no really desire to kind of go to the costume contest this year. But that was crazy to me.
I think one thing, and someone had told me, a friend of mine at work went and said they were talking to people and said that one of the reasons why it wasn't as populated, and also by especially the dealers, is that there was a Louisiana Comic-Con that weekend.
Oh, okay.
There's a Louisiana Comic-Con, and then in Jackson there was an Anime Con also in Jackson running at the same time. So that definitely, I think that's definitely can kind of pull some things, and especially from the vendor side of things.
Right.
100%.
Mainly the
vendor
vendors.
things. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things like that can affect the con, but also one of the major problems with CoastCon is that it's been ran by the same people for forever. They don't ever want to change anything. They want to just do the same thing over and over again, and they don't really want to either innovate or really they just want to do the same thing over and over again. And they're also getting older. Like they're all really old.
The thing,
like most of them are really, really old. So they're not going to be able to do as much as they used to do. like year on year. You're just going to get older, and you're not going to be able to do as much. So I feel like they're having a harder time like actually being there and running the thing, because running a convention is a lot of fucking work.
It is. And
like just little things like the layout of the vendor room was atrocious this year. They had one aisle that was kind of like the main aisle that was like 10 people wide. And then on the other side, if you wanted to walk around and then go up, like it was just about 2 people wide. It's like, and then like
very disproportionate.
Yeah.
You could have driven a small car through one of the aisles, and then the other one, I would have to walk in front of or behind whatever friend I was walking with to have room in order to walk. Now, granted, I'm a fat man. I was not walking with fat people all the time. It was like we've got space here. Let's work this out.
Not all of the aisles that were going the other way were spaced out well. Like some were felt very, very close, and some felt and some did not. Like there were literally parts where like I felt like I would have to turn sideways so I don't accidentally like knock over something on somebody's booth. So yeah, they're like things like that is like very disappointing. Like it's like, come on, y'all been running this for how long? Y'all should know how to lay this shit out.
Especially considering that there is not just in this area, but independently run conventions like there used to be back in the day. There was like, and I think MobiCon's still around because someone else picked up the reins on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was. There was like a year or two where they didn't have one, and at one point there was like you had like NOSF3, which was like the New Orleans Science Fiction and Fantasy Festival, and then you had Pensacon, you had MobiCon, you had all these other cons like different cities and different states or whatever. But like much like everything else, like Comic-Con and Wizard World has like pretty much come in and like consolidated and organized everything, and are like, maybe not putting out the same kind of convention per se, more modern, convention setups, but it's more organized, and you have like their dealer rooms, like the anime convention he was talking to. One of my friends runs part of that in Mississippi. She, Melody, I can't remember her current last name. She's married now, but Melody McLean runs a lot of merchandising stuff, like as far as like the organizational side of things, and they know what they're doing. Yeah. And what surprises me about these, like, the leading independently run conventions is you need to fucking pick your shit up and figure some stuff out, because you're holding on mainly just because you're in a market area that's not really financially like great for some of these other conventions at the moment. Yeah. Because like we know by like the Fear Fet or whatever, or the Fear Fantasy Festival or whatever it's called. Yeah. They know what they're fucking doing. And so if someone else comes along, or maybe Wizarding World or Comic-Con decides that like Biloxi, Gulfport area is an area they can tap into, CoastCon is dead. Yeah. Like it dies the year they do that. Like literally dies the year they do that.
Yeah, they've kind of coasted on the fact that most of the people who come in and try and do some kind of convention in the area are really bad at it.
Also,
or one or the other things like Fear Fat, I think, was more of the Wizard World coming in and kind of undercutting them.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that at least for the last two that I can think of, which was Geekonomicon and it was Fear Fat, they tried to do too much too fast. Like they threw just throw money like this. Yeah. This is outside looking in.
Sure,
it looked like let's throw so much money, let's get so much shit, and then it's like, okay, we can just kind of cut. And the thing is, it's like, especially for these mom and pop cons that aren't associated with Comic-Con, if you don't get it to work, if you aren't making money out of the gate, and you're losing money on it, you're not coming back around to make that money back.
Right.
You're just not. It's just the way it is.
And like CoastCon has the benefit of having local name recognition.
Yeah.
They do have some, like they have connections. They can get some, quote unquote, names, for people to come up and show up. But another problem with CoastCon is much like when you were talking about the people that are running it are getting older. A lot of their like dedicated fan base are getting older, dying off, moving away.
This is true.
And losing interest in, because like I used to be an avid con goer. Like I would go to 3-4 different conventions a year with a group of friends. Like we would travel from Louisiana all the way to Florida.
Yeah.
To go to these different conventions because there would be different people there. Some of the dealers would be the same, some of them would be different, but there would always be like different named people to go to. I met Timothy Zahn at CoastCon.
Okay.
I talked to him. I didn't know who he was at the time.
Well, I just remember like seeing pictures of like an old CoastCon like in the 70s.
Yeah.
Or maybe early 80s.
It might have been
George
early.
R. Martin was at a CoastCon.
Yeah.
He was at the second. He was
at
the
the second.
author guest of honor for the second
For
CoastCon.
the second CoastCon.
Yeah.
The first CoastCon, which I believe happened, and this building is so far long gone. It was happened at the Broadwater down at, like, I couldn't even describe it. It actually where Treasure Bay is.
Right.
One of the first events for CoastCon 1 was they redid the trench run from Star Wars, and they did it by, like, they built cardboard fucking X-Wings and TIE fighters, and they ran them down the fucking the convention center, which I have to imagine, like, between the DIY and the fact that Star Wars was just then happening,
Right.
I think that would have been like a tremendous thing to just do.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it was insane when I first started going, and like I think it was like 1990 or something like that was my first one. I went with a friend, and the fucking convention floor, like we got there like Friday at 3:00 or whatever. The convention floor was full of people, like the whole floor.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, the Coliseum might be quote unquote different and they rebuilt it and all that or whatever. The floor is still about the same size area that it was. It's a huge ass fucking floor. All the tables had people at them. Were they all playing games? No, but there were people there. There was a shit ton of people there. Like the whole weekend, there were shit tons of people there. It was just wild times, and like the parties that would happen, and it was just fucking crazy. And now it's just like, with the the fucking technology and people being like, swayed by not going out and not doing things or doing other things, and there's too many options to do different stuff. You're competing with like everything. That's one thing I will quote on CM Punk said, that you're not competing with just other wrestling companies. You're competing with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I don't even know what I was gonna say, to be quite honest. But like, I'm never gonna like hype up CoastCon as like, oh my god, it's so great and you have to do it. I just like it's a nice thing to do. If you can get in for a good price.
I used to get
worth
excited.
That's but it's not. But yeah, like I
used to get
halfway
excited.
get excited, but I see it when CoastCon comes around. But it's mostly because I'm gonna go hang out and play board games all day. It's just an excuse to do that. Which I don't necessarily have to go anywhere special to do that.
Right.
But like I know what I'm gonna get it's gonna be every once in a while they change the layout and the layout's a little bit different. But usually, especially for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been the exact same layout. I know where everything's going to be. I know most of the vendors who are going to be there. I probably can tell you where most of them are going to be like set up. And like I know what I'm going to get. Like I'm probably not going to be interested in any of the guests. I'm probably not going to be interested in most of the things that are happening there. It's just an excuse to like hang out mostly. But I will say, like, if you hear this and you are a vendor at CoastCon, think of something else to do besides the 3D printed dragon eggs and the 3D printed little dragons that I've seen everywhere. Like 5 booths had these fucking things, and it's like, if you're gonna do 3D printing, come up with something else. Like Ricky had this little this little cat thing that like moved. It was like segmented and it kind of moved like one of those little snake things. Okay, do something like that.
They did.
Mhm.
They
Stop.
did like they had the cat. They had little dragons like
Stop.
that. They had
Little cute things like that. If you're gonna do 3D printing, please do something like that. Stop doing the fucking the little dragon eggs or the little dragons. Everybody fucking has those.
Right.
I saw five booths
Yeah.
with those. Like, for God's sakes, do something fucking different. Like, give people something different. Because if 5 of you are selling the same fucking thing, then nobody's gonna make any goddamn money.
There was a 1 year that I went where there were like out of the 25 or 30 booths, 3 of them were selling incense. That's
Yeah.
all, because that was the gimmick they were doing.
And then because and some of them would sell like the exact same incense,
right,
and it's just basically if you want that, who's selling it cheaper?
right,
Literally
yeah.
what it comes down to.
That's what
Yeah.
you're gonna do.
Well, since we're on the vendor room now, so Thompson Productions LLC, that is the seller that typically sells the board games that's over there, and it was weird this year. So last year it was about 2/3 board games and 1/3 Bandai Namco models, mostly Gundam, but there was also some from One Piece. And I ended up I bought the Thousand Sunny Grand Ship Collection one last year for it. This year it was 75% Bandai Namco models and 25% board games, which was a weird flip in my head. And I'm not necessarily saying it as a bad thing, because I think about last year, he sold more Gundam models last year. Just my buddy, John, John Sheldon.
Yeah.
He bought like 8 Gundam models.
Of course he did.
And so it might have just been, it's like, okay, well, last year, this is what I moved more, so let me load it up towards this direction.
Yeah,
Now, what's messed up about that is I got Heat Pedal to the Metal. That's I bought that from him, and I also bought another one of the One Piece ships. I bought Boa Hancock's, the Kuji Pirates, that ship, which I think is, again, I don't like One Piece, the story. The artwork of One Piece, particularly the ships, really they're evocative, they're characterful. I love that. That was pretty cool. There was a group called Biloxi Brick Company. They were Lego sellers. I was able to buy a Lego train set that I'd been looking at online for way less than what I would have to pay for it online. And so, okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool there. I bought a knife like I always do. I always buy a knife. This one has Spider-Man on it because I'm a consumer whore. That's literally all it comes down to. And it's what else? Oh, Henderson's Hearth.
Yeah.
Henderson's Hearth came back again, and I bought all them fucking jams. All of them. All the flavors.
Yeah.
The blueberry thyme, the strawberry vanilla.
I got the strawberry vanilla.
Yeah, the orange ginger marmalade. She said she's reworked the recipe where there's less ginger in it because she was like sometimes waking up in the morning and like the punch of the ginger was a little too much. I can appreciate that, but there you go. And then the blueberry thyme and
the other one was raspberry.
I already mentioned the raspberry citrus honey jam. Raspberry citrus.
That's what I got
jam.
last year, and that one was really good.
That one's my favorite.
I'm enjoying the strawberry vanilla. Just making toast on. I also got the potato soup mix.
I got that last year.
It's
It's
really
good. It's good, man. You're gonna love that.
Me and Bianca,
probably gonna make that Friday.
We got the raspberry and citrus jam and the potato mix last year.
Yeah.
And
stuff.
it's pretty good.
Yeah. Great human being. I love just talking
she's
with
cool.
her. She's cool as fuck.
Cool, nice
Again,
old lady.
hendersonshearth.com, I believe, is the website. You can actually order their stuff online. Highly recommended as far as what I've had.
That's
a chance
literally the only. I bought artwork at the art auction.
I heard the auction was like lesser too, like the offerings for
Like I
that.
said,
So
there were a lot less things there.
So
than
I
there
will say
used to
this
be.
for the charity auction. For me, there was less stuff I was interested in this year because last year they did a lot of miniatures. Like that's where I got Stormcloud Attack, where I got the Song of Ice and Fire Kickstarter box. There was a lot. There was also a lot more energy in the room. I think part of it was the HVAC. Just where's the AC?
Yeah.
God damn it! I will. I'm not going to name this vendor by name, but they were doing 3D printed models, and one of the 3D printing models
Were
they
they
had.
dragon eggs?
No. In fact, no more talking until I'm done with the story, and you then hate this person forever.
Gotcha.
So they were making 3D printed models, and there was liquid inside the 3D printed model. and one of our friends bought one, and as soon as he picked it up from the table, he's purchased it now. He's purchased it. He picks it up, and the stuff's leaking from the bottom of the stuff. It's like, and so the person who just took their money, it's like, oh, that one's got a leak in it. You've already bought it. And then just fucking shut them out for the fucking rest of this.
Yep.
That fucking asshole.
Yeah. So that that vendor's not getting named. It's like the vendor's only getting shamed. That is fucking shit. To put this into perspective, years ago at CoastCon, Thompson Productions was there. It is where I bought Battlestar Galactica, but I meant to buy the board game. I accidentally bought the third expansion for it, or the second expansion for it, Exodus. It's like, oh shit, this is just the expansion. Shit, he had it's like was $10 more. Bought that, changed it out. Everything was fine.
Yeah,
that's how you handle a mistake.
Yeah,
and everybody comes to a meeting of the minds. But to immediately say, oh, you already bought it. Fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you and everything you fucking stand for.
Snake oil, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's. I made sure the next time I went to the vendor room, I was like, let me find out who did that. And I was like, okay, I'm not even looking at their shit for the rest of the.
Hell no.
But
fuck that.
Yeah.
You already bought it.
You already touched it.
No, he already.
I know.
He already bought it.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
fucking A.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's less CoastCon and that one particular vendor.
Yeah. There were. I mean, the vendor room wasn't terrible this year, but I mean, it's fine. Like most of the stuff that you can talk about CoastCon when it comes to stuff like that, it's fine.
Damon Bowie from Damon Bowie Art, he was actually there.
Yeah, I saw him there. There's just nothing there that really. And my the art that I got from the art auction are like very small prints,
little prints. Yeah.
These sci-fi landscapes that I really like. I can't remember Van Trachtenberg, I think is the guy's name. I like his stuff, so I try and buy it. Although I think that they had some actual paintings there, and they were just like, I don't want to pay
200. Yeah,
well, it wasn't even that much, but like I don't want to pay $75 for a small painting, even though like I like the idea of owning like an actual painting.
Right, of course.
I purchased a spray paint planets landscape, which it's a very easy product, but it's one I've always wanted. It's one I've also wanted to try to do.
Yeah, and
I picked up. It's just kind of two great planets. It looks kind of shadowy. Yeah, I kind of like the look of it, so I picked that up. There were also after the art auction, they were doing quick sales on the stuff that didn't move.
Right.
There was a lot. I will say this: there was a lot of pottery there that I really liked, and all of that moved at the art auction because none of that was available afterward.
Yeah, I think all of that moves pretty well.
Yeah,
every art auction.
There's also a big pottery scene down here, thanks to Peter Anderson Festival, Shearwater Pottery, and things like that.
Fantastic thing to go to too.
Yeah,
the Peter Anderson Festival.
Yeah, if you got to free up the first weekend in November and come to Ocean Springs.
You can find some pretty cool pieces.
Yeah,
I've
between the local color and the restaurants off of Government, it's a really nice time over in Ocean Springs. But I picked up two, and Brady, I think you picked up one.
I picked up two things. I picked up one for this.
But specifically, it's this dragon. I think his name is Narbo, and a kitten. Yeah, and it's a baby dragon or baby kitten just doing things around the house. It's part of a children's book.
Oh, okay.
About a 32-page illustrated children's book. And these were prints from that book. And
I think the artist's name is Bruick. Is his last name?
Maybe. I don't remember it specifically, but yeah, it's Jackpot the kitten, and like it. One of them I bought two. I gave one to my cousin. It's the one I gave to my cousin is they're reading a cookbook and they're figuring that out. The one I kept is the dragon and kitten in a basket of yarn. Yours was
it's the one where the dragon had wrapped the kitten in toilet paper.
As the mummy,
as holding up like the Boris Karloff, the mummy.
Oh no,
yeah, and that was so characterful.
That's very cute. I'm gonna give that to my daughter, and then I got it's the same artist, but it was like a spaceship that I've got for my son.
Yeah,
so.
And that artist also does it's like Mouseapolitan, or it's like basically he takes like people and like paints them as mice.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they had a Day the Earth Stood Still as mice.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
They had the one that I was like, I saw and I was like, oh man, Joey would like that. They had Mouse Ferratu.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He was holding like a piece of cheese.
But
Hell yeah.
that's the one that didn't make it.
Yeah,
to
that
the
one.
quick
That
sales,
one.
yeah.
The second day, like somebody had already
Yeah.
bought it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
C'est la vie on that one.
yeah,
But no, there were some quality pieces,
Right.
yeah. There was some really good stuff,
which I was
which there,
happy to
there
see.
usually is, and I try and get a few things, especially because like I like that it goes towards CASA, which I think is a good
Yeah,
organization.
fantastic organization.
Yeah, I definitely didn't buy as much as I usually do during CoastCon, but mostly what I did was play board games.
I also didn't buy, and it's one of the reasons I bought a really expensive gaming monitor
Yeah.
20 minutes ago because I had the
okay.
cash for it, cash to be able to do it. No, because normally it's not uncommon for me to drop like close, like I save up for it. It's $600-700 because of all the cool things that are there.
Right.
The pin seller that was there the 2 years previous wasn't there,
Yeah.
so I couldn't get more Loveland Frog patches.
Oh.
So I'm
The
just gonna
guy
have
who
to buy
had
those
the
online.
banners wasn't there this year.
Yeah, the banners and jewelry, because that's where I got my
Yeah.
Green Lantern ring from. He wasn't there, but who was there was the anime seller who we bought was
Censored.
Yeah, that we bought
Censored.
for Jody last year. Was it
Censored.
What
No,
else?
no. Also, cut that out.
Yeah,
Fritz
because then we
the-
have to explain that.
Yeah,
oh,
Fritz
yeah,
the
Fritz
cat.
Oh, it was Fritz the cat. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I could have bought
Censored.
but I thought better of
censored.
Censored.
it.
Censored.
So many
That's,
censors right
that's
here.
probably for the
Yeah.
best. To
Yeah.
be quite honest.
Yeah, but that
'Cause people,
did.
what the fuck is that? And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah. yes.
Oh, Ralph Bakshi.
Oh man, we got to
Keep-
do a Ralph Bakshi
yeah,
retrospective one day.
Keep talking, Brady.
Hey, good looking.
Just keep it talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep talking.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Things
know
are
what
getting
he's-
weird
Jay's
over under the table.
Digging in
Jay's
his bag. I have
digging
no
for
idea
something.
what. This could be anything.
Oh dear God, he Freudian slipped.
This could
He
be
bought me a fucking DVD. Oh no.
No.
So-
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
So he had the perfect thing for Jody.
Oh
Uh-huh.
no.
And as soon as I sent a
Is it a
pic-
second copy of Fritz?
I sent
It's
I
the
sent
sequel.
I said no, you know
Ooh.
exactly. I sent a picture of it to Brady, and Brady said
Yeah.
thumbs up,
Uh-huh.
which means that's the green light to buy it for Jody.
Mhm.
Oh,
Jody,
no.
Hey, good looking.
Jody,
Uh-huh.
$300. It's
Censored.
on vinyl.
No.
It's 6 vinyl records,
No.
and they're just.
Censored.
You have to put them on your record player and hook them out. Don't ask how it works. I don't know how it works, but here you go, brother. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, you do have to read it backwards, but yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yes. Would you please explain to them the wonderful gift?
It is not a vinyl.
It is
No.
not a vinyl. It's also
is-
not.
Censored.
Yeah.
No, it's a looks like a manga version of a Shadow over Innsmouth.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Thank
Yes.
you,
Yes.
brother.
No, I saw that immediately, and I was like,
I
Brady, we
appreciate
found
that.
Jody's gift, and it's
Yeah.
like, yep,
Oh
yep,
my
that's a
goodness.
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I almost bought he had Goblin Slayer season 1
mm-hmm.
on Blu-ray and DVD for $65, and
Mhm.
because it's 2 DVDs and then it's 2 Blu-rays,
Right.
and I almost pulled the trigger on that one too. That one was going to be for me,
Mhm.
and then I looked online if I've got the Blu-ray, why do I need the DVD?
Mhm.
So like I've found some other like where I could price it cheaper, and then once I saw that, I kind of fell out of love with the whole thing there. But yeah. But no, that bookseller, I want to give him credit as well. He has a fantastic stock, a absolutely fantastic stock of some really cool things. He was the one that last year had the leather bound and gold embossed black leather, gold embossed first volumes of Jujutsu Kaisen, which he didn't have them there this year. I imagine because he probably ended up selling them because that's
Yeah.
probably a hot ticket item, knowing how like popular Jujutsu Kaisen is.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a quality selection of quality things. He also, for some reason, had Fritz the cat
Yeah.
last year, but that was where it is. But yeah, it's like, but no, enjoy your Shadow over Innsmouth.
Oh, I will.
I was looking up the artist on that because can you please pronounce his name for
I will try.
me? Yeah,
Go Tanabe.
go Tanabe. Like his like I started looking up some of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's something like if he's done more like that, I would highly recommend, because it is a manga style, but it is also so like perfectly encapsulating the notions of H.P. Lovecraft's world in there. I think he did a tremendous job with it. It's that was right next to Spiral. Well, Uzumaki. Excuse me.
Uzumaki, yeah.
I was right next to Uzumaki and a bunch of Junji Ito stuff. But like I said, that just the artwork on that page just jumped out at me immediately.
For sure.
Although I did make the joke of it, I did put this on Facebook, that it's less Deep One being menacing and Deep One needing to take a shit. Like it's just he's very constipated.
Yeah.
He's very we're showing the art to the people around the table. We just tell you it's very scary looking. It's very
He's
very,
definitely had
very
a few
creepy.
too many cheese dishes.
I want to talk a bit about the games we did play. Crokinole, again, massive success. People were coming up to one or both of the tables that we had set up throughout the weekend. That we were thinking about doing a tournament, but it would have required one of us to kind of just hang out at the tournament, and we kind of want to just play our own games.
Right.
So it ended up not happening, but it's something I kind of want to look forward to, like running at the shop. So that was good there. We actually had some of the security staff, like the internal CoastCon security staff. It's like, oh, we're done for right now. Okay, let's play Crokinole, and they would just kept coming back to
played a lot
Crokinole.
of Crokinole.
Yeah.
Friends from work. Another thing, it was really cool to hang out with friends from work outside of work. That is just some of the best stuff. So some of the people that I go to work with on a daily basis, where we've got to kind of button up and we let loose, let our hair down. A lot of them work the USS Neptune, so that was pretty cool. And it was just all around like that. If there's one thing I will say about the CoastCon this year that we've had, it's being able to be out with quote unquote my people. It's in a place where I'm not having to worry about getting a call from work and like, hey, shit. Although I did get called twice, and it was like, you fuckers.
Yeah.
I love y'all to death, but please, I'm on paid time off. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Please don't call me anymore. But that was great. Can you talk a little bit about the City of the Big Shoulders, because I was really excited that you really kind of popped for that one.
Yeah, they I actually played a whole bunch of games. That was one of them. That was kind of what closed out our night.
Shout out to our
Saturday.
friend Lance, who was there all day Saturday, and like you guys were just like every board game that was possible.
Oh yeah. We were just like, we want to play a whole bunch of games, so we just played a whole bunch of games. See the Big Shoulders. It's a pretty heavy game. It basically takes place in the late 1800s, early 1900s, after the fire, the Great Fire of Chicago.
Yeah.
And you're all basically capitalists building the city back up, and you do that by starting businesses. It's got like a stock economic thing where you literally at the beginning of the game you start a business, and these are businesses that actually exist, that still exist or used to exist, like Cracker Jack and Quaker and what was some of the other ones? The Libby Company was the one that
it's set in Chicago. Was Sears one of them?
No.
No. Okay.
That one, that one might. It was supposed to be things that were like started in that era. So Sears might be earlier or later. I don't know. I don't know anything about
Sears is earlier.
But yeah, like you literally start these companies, and it has this this thing that other games will do, where you have your own money, but then you also put money into the company, and you most of the time spend money from the company to do things. And later we never did this because we were all kind of learning the game. You can start a second company, and I guess technically you could start as many companies as you can afford. But you're like putting money into them and like setting the stock price, and then you have to hire workers and get material depending on what your company is, and then you sell that like it's there's a lot going on, but the game is very, very regimented to the point where like you understand like, okay, it's this part of the game, I do this thing. It's the stock part. So this is where I will buy stock, or I will sell stock, or I will start a new company. it's this part of the game where we all get these building tiles and we get to choose one to build, and that's basically worker placement spots that we have for the next part of the game, and we each have our little worker placement part where we're doing different things, and we get to I need these things to make my company run, and you can start you can do things to get automation to where it sets to where you don't have to hire workers, and then at the end you like run your factory and you get to do all the things, and then you get a shitload of money, and then you have to pay out dividends where, okay, I made this much money. You have materials, but then you have like products, which are just basically these like white cylinders, and you have tiles out here that are demand tiles, and you fill those up, and if you make 7 things and you're able to fill up 7 things, you get all that money. But then you have to divide it up by there was a lot of math in this. I wish that they would have had like some sheets to help you with like dividing things. But like, okay, I made $300. I got to split this up between everybody who has shares in my company. So that's how you get money, and that's how you kind of take money from the company. There's a lot of interesting things with it. It's a really brain burny game, but I did really enjoy playing it because it's just so like, okay, I'm doing this, then I'm doing this. Like whenever you start, like you never get bored with anything because you're just continually doing this, and you're trying to figure out how to optimize the company that you own and try and extract as much money out of it. Because at the end, that's what it is. It's whoever has the most money. You could have hundreds of thousands. You could have $20,000 in your company, means absolutely nothing if you don't have that money. So it's how much money you have and how much the stocks are worth that you have. So it's a really interesting game. From what Lance is a guy who plays a lot of these 18xx games, which it's a heavy stock market, but you're also like building train rails. I have no interest in these games. I'll probably end up having to play one with him, but they're not like, those are the games. Like if you play 18xx games, a lot of people, that's what they play. That's their thing. It's like a lifestyle game.
I feel like Lance would very much enjoy Western Legends.
I think he might too. Well, I hope he would, but he likes board games enough to where like he likes a lot of things, but he really likes like kind of dry mechanics heavy games like this one. And I didn't think I was going to like this game, but I actually ended up very much liking it because it turned the right wheels in my brain. If the mechanics work well, then even if it's kind of a dry game, I can get over that. Yeah. And everything fit. Like it made sense. Like when you did these things, it made sense what everything. And sometimes all the companies like need different things to run, and all the companies some of the companies like work a little bit differently than other companies and different things like that. Yeah. So it's all pretty. It was a really really interesting game that I did not think I was going to like, but ended up really liking. And I was the most sober person at the table that entire time.
Yep. Brady is a good and just friend. I did not bring my copy of Ito, and he allowed me to borrow his.
Yeah.
That was a high point for the show as well. The what I like to call the Baton Rouge crew, which is a group of about. That was also like a bit of a disappointment. Only about 5 of them were here this year. Normally they come in a pack of like 10 of them, and which is pretty cool. But they were still there this year, and so we all sat down to play Ito. And that arguably, I think, has, in my mind, become the best party game of all time.
Ito's really, really
Ito's
fucking good.
very good. It's a very easy idea to teach. It's a very easy idea to get on a table. It is extremely fun, whether you get everything right or you're horribly wrong. It was amazing.
It's up there with like a just one where like it's a very jump in, jump out. Like you can play a round or two and be like, okay, I'm done. And then I don't know how many times, I never didn't play it at the convention, but like how many times we've been playing it at the shop.
Yeah.
And somebody will stand there and just kind of look and watch around. And then the next one are like, hey, do you want to play? We have room.
Unless I'm there when I say, nope, you're in. Get sit in the chair. You have to sit now.
Ito's great.
Ito was exceptional. It proved to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that my friend John Sheldon exists in this place and time, and also at the same time in a completely parallel universe.
and it is entirely just every so often those two Johns will switch, and you have we had it's like someone you would want to think about a fantasy person that you would want to date, okay. And then so real quick breakdown. ITO. You have a spectrum. On one side is the number 1, which is typically not the thing you're looking for. And then you have 100, which is exactly the thing that you are looking for. And you get dealt a card with a number 1 through 100. And you've got to, like, with that theme, like, I suggest this and like things like there. It's very wavelength. It's very, I'm trying to think of some other games.
You're trying to cooperate with all the other players in order to put all of your answers in order of the spectrum.
It's very much wavelength is like, so we get like fantasy people you would want to, a fantasy character you would want to date. I got dealt 85.
Yeah.
So I was like a fictional character played by Sydney Sweeney. And then a dude that was helping work security at the con, he comes in and goes, this redheaded chick from this hentai. It's like, okay,
brosive.
Okay, I'll leave that higher than that. And then John goes over the top on that one, and he goes, Kronos, the Titan. He initially was going to say God, but he said Kronos.
God do be sexy sometimes.
And we were like, what the and then on the bad side of things, you had Grand Moff Tarkin and some other stuff on that side. So we start flipping over cards, right? And it's like, okay, low. Okay, and then we get mine's 85. Hentai Boy was 96.
Oh, shit.
Kronos was 97. And we're like, there was one person left, our friend Will from work. And like, I forgot who he put down, but he put down, it's like, oh, okay, if that's your 100, that's it. And he flipped it, and it's 81. I'm like,
oh, brother.
That was the only one we missed. And it's like, God damn it.
I know we played that game a couple of times up here at the shop, and like,
it's always me that's always being saying, like, are you sure you want to go with that answer?
Well, it's also me too, because we had some where we were all in the top like 90s. And we had like 8 people playing one game, and we were off by 1.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my fault.
Another one that just went completely like ape shit backwards on us. It's like we did the countries you would like to visit.
Yeah.
And one of the Baton Rouge crew went down and put Romania. And I had a feeling it was a low one.
Yeah.
And mine was also low.
Yeah.
But it felt it was higher than that. So I went Romania in the springtime. And then another person from the Baton Rouge crew went Romania in the springtime in the best villa in Romania. It's like, okay. So this is all right. So Romania got 30. I had put down 25. And then the Romania of it was 20. We were going fucking back opposite. No, what are you doing?
The best time to go to Romania is in the winter time, because that's, because
that's when the vampires are sleeping.
Yes,
they're hibernating there in Romania. But yeah. So do we have any more juice in this lemon?
Oh yeah. I just want to mention some of the other games that I played. For the first time, I got to play Thunder Road Vendetta, which is really cool. It's a very don't have to think too hard about it game. Basically playing Mad Max Fury Road, where you have a team of cars and it's just rolling dice, and you assign them to those cars, and you get to ram into other people and do things and shoot blow shit up. You got a helicopter that you can sick on them. You're running people into rocks, and
sounds like my kind of game.
It's a pretty fun game. I didn't get to play the Carnival.
That's a restoration game, isn't it?
Yeah. I didn't get to play the Carnival of Chaos, which is basically like changing it into Twisted Metal, which is really cool. But I did watch it get played, and it seems pretty fun. Got to play Lost Ruins of Arnak with the first expansion, which makes it to where you start out with different people, so your decks and your powers are different. That was really cool.
Just one last thing with Thunder. A shout out to one of our, if not our favorite game developer right now, of Restoration Games.
Yeah, they're definitely
because that's
up
a
there.
Restoration Games game.
Yeah, Lance and I got to play Wondrous Creatures, which I highly recommend. You basically have like these 3. You have these 3 animals, and one of them you actually put your guy on, and they have a special power. But it's kind of like it does a lot of things that Arc Nova does, except it does it in some different ways. But it's all about like playing down these creatures that do special things. They might do something immediately, but they might also do something later or at certain times, or you can spin these little things off of them to do things. And you're just like, you have like these trophies that you're getting as like collect so much of this type, or collect 14 creatures or something like that. And it's basically like you use the mounts that you have to like, basically you put them out on the map and you just get the resources that they're near.
This game looks adorable. I absolutely want to play this.
It's a really, really fun game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like every creature is different. It's a really, really good game. And like you get to do these. Sometimes you can pop off a little cool combo that's neat, and that one's definitely the one that I want to shout out, because that's one that I hadn't played, and that was a really, really good one. I like that one.
Okay, I have one more Ito story that I just remembered,
Okay.
and it involves John again. So the prompt was things that you would be things that would shock you if a teacher told you. Okay.
Okay.
And so, one of our John Mayer, one of our friends, not the John
that
Mayer,
one.
from work, he put down, everybody gets all A's and there's no homework for the rest of the year. It's like, okay, that's it. And then John Sheldon comes in with, I gave everyone AIDS. Okay, that's pretty fucking shocking. Okay, that's pretty, and then mine was, it's like I had I had 60. And it's like everybody gets 5 minutes extra recess. It's not too shocking, but it's like, oh, is it be like there? And then like you get and then like the dude that had the hentai one, he goes, everybody's getting a pizza party in 10 minutes extra recess. And and a whole extra recess. There were two it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty fucking shocking. Okay. It's like, okay, and then like the Baton Rouge crew waited till the end because he had the 100. He goes, pizza party, 30 minutes extra recess, and everybody's got all A's, and Ed gave them AIDS. So it's like, okay, that was genius. That was absolute fucking genius.
I remember there was one time I walked over there and y'all were flipping cards, and y'all flipped the card that was right next to the 0, and it was a fucking 96.
It was that one went, I can't remember the stats. That one was immediately off the rails and just kept going off.
Yeah.
Our friend Will put that one down. And
Yeah.
we're like, Will, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna have a problem because mine was the least shocking of everything. We're gonna have a problem here. So I flip over 60 and like 3 people are like, whoa. The next one, remember, my thing was 5 minutes of recess.
Next one was
Extra 5 minutes
an
of
extra
recess.
recess.
The next one was like 30 something. It's like, what fucking school did you go to where they were just hanging out recesses like this? What the fuck? Our rewards sometimes at St. Alphonsus was to get recess taken away so we would have more time to pray to Jesus.
I also went to a Christian school, so I remember things similar
Yeah,
to that.
like an extra 5 minutes of recess never fucking happened. That was shocking. But I'm thinking other people may have had. I didn't realize that they were just handing out recesses just left and right and fucking whatever. So we start climbing back up the thing.
I went to a regular school and they didn't do that.
Everybody gets A's. Okay, remember, it's everybody gets A's all year.
Yeah.
AIDS and everything plus AIDS. Like the whole everything bagel and AIDS. Flip over the A's the and it's a 99. Someone fucked up.
Yeah.
John's flips over and it's like 70. Okay, I want to stress it. What he initially said was, I gave you all AIDS. Not that you have AIDS, that I gave you AIDS. What? I don't care what, in the 80s, that would have been like a 350. Like, it just would have been. But like, even in this day and age, it's like, hello, children. I have to report something terrible to you. Do you know you all have AIDS? Oh, you don't? Well, I'm telling you now. I gave it to you.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that episode of Mr. Belvedere
Oh yeah, where he gave everyone AIDS.
where he gave everyone AIDS?
Oh my God!
wow.
Yeah, it's I
That's
didn't
a
really.
very special episode.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere. Hello, everyone. I didn't give everyone AIDS, but AIDS is a very dangerous thing. Don't give people AIDS, and then that was it. There you
Don't
go.
get blood transfusions in the 80s if you're on a
Yeah.
sitcom. That was
Yeah.
the main message.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I took away from your
No.
wild.
It's okay, but no. Again, it was like everyone has all A's,
Uh-huh.
and John literally put it right after that.
Of course he did.
And he said AIDS.
Yeah, which is
Okay, I
which is
gave
way
you all-
worse.
I gave you all AIDS,
Which is way
With
worse.
The utmost
71.
confidence.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And the last card, right?
Yeah,
was
the
like,
last card was everyone has all AIDS. I gave you AIDS. Pizza parties and
And that was
the
the
whole
100,
thing. Yeah,
yeah.
that's no. Well done, brother.
Right.
Congratulations, but fucking
almost everyone else failed.
fucking AIDS, man.
Fucking AIDS, brother.
Jesus.
And on that note,
Yeah, we leave our talk of CoastCon on AIDS. So, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, overall, what did you think of our thinking of CoastCon? Let us know at travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L on the omnibus at gmail.com. That is for anything we've talked about in this or any of our previous episodes. If you have comments, Jody, where else can they get in touch with us?
Spotify.
Spotify, yes, take part in any of our active polls on any of our current or past episodes, and also leave us a comment on any of our past or current episodes. Also, if you've enjoyed this and you would like to share it with friends who do not listen to podcasts on the same channels you do, we are available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube through our YouTube channel, Travelers on the Omnibus, and iHeartRadio. Special thanks again to MacNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi for providing us this wonderful studio space from which we can broadcast our thoughts and feelings out to you, the wonderful passengers. If you want to play Elder Scrolls, but you don't want to play it in video game form, they have Elder Scrolls the board game. And that's all we're going to say about that.
Yep.
That is all that will be said.
If you
about
don't,
it.
if you don't have a ticket,
Legally,
to
we can't say anything else about it because we haven't played. The
We
game,
haven't
so
played
that
it.
would
It
be
could-
I can
that
say
would be
this.
unethical.
I can say this.
Unethical.
It's heavy,
It
but
is
it's not
very-
Steppenfeld heavy.
Yeah. It's very heavy.
What matters most is that MacNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi has
It would be awkward
Yes.
if we later found out that Stefan Feld actually developed that game. That'd be
I would
strange.
be so sad.
I would be surprised.
Legitimate
quite
talk,
surprised.
ladies and gentlemen. Though, if you want to get started in board gaming, they have a wonderful collection of ticket to rides, particularly the
Mhm.
smaller ticket to rides,
Yeah,
which are very good.
Finspan, which
Fin
is
span, you know, you can fin span.
Wingspan. Yeah.
Yeah, you got all.
Yeah,
the-
except with fish.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got
very
all
nice.
the
You got the many
spans.
Catans.
Catan span.
Yeah.
That's the next one they're going to come out with.
So next week, Ethan's not going to be here. So
There will be much rejoicing.
yeah, you'll hear the sounds of his death
I'll see
as
the
we
fire-
That
leave.
wasn't me who made that
I'll
joke.
see all the fireworks from where
Yeah.
I will be.
You'll be seeing the fireworks from hell because we're about to kill you. So
Mhm.
once time
I had to
around.
Yeah, he didn't know that he wasn't going to be on the next episode until
well,
just now.
Yes, there you go. Once time around the room with good feeling. I am James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I was waiting for him to do it at the same time,
No,
like
no, no,
for
I
the beginning
wasn't
of the
gonna do
show.
it. I
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
gonna
he's
do
contemplating his death.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Jody Kite.
I mean, I was Ethan Skinner.
Yeah, there you go. No, thank you.
I
And,
was.
Travelers on the Omnibus, folks. Thanks for stopping by and joining the ride. Okay.
Open the door,
I need
get
you-
on the
I need you to
floor.
put this in your urethra.
What the fuck?
Okay. What?
Everyone
Okay,
walk
Oh,
the
he's actually
dinosaur.
doing it. What the fuck? Oh no. Okay, here's Articuno. Hello.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay.
Is that a cockatoo?
Finger guns.
Yeah.
And bing, 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 bing. He's dead. He got killed by a Pokemon, which I think is the way he wants to go out.
Oh, it's a Pokemon.
It's the way he wants to go
I
out.
gotcha.
And that's the way he went out.
Yeah.
In the arms of the angels.
We're gonna get copyright